Autumn is here, and I can feel it in the air. The mornings are foggy, the evenings are coming sooner, and there's that golden light that seems to linger just a little longer. The rain is beginning to return too, soft showers that wash away the dust of summer, soaking into the soil and refreshing the world around us. It feels like creation itself is taking a deep breath, settling into a gentler rhythm. I always find that as the seasons shift outside, I feel that shift inside too. Our homes, our rhythms, even our hearts begin to turn with the season. Now maybe you're someone who loves autumn. You look forward to the fall time. You welcome the coziness and the warm colors and the yummy food, but maybe you're someone who dreads this time of the year. The shorter days, the cold creeping in, the reminder that another year is moving quickly toward its end. If that's you, I want to encourage you. This season has gifts waiting for you too. My hope is that today's video can help shift your perspective just a little bit, to see autumn not only as a season outside your window, but as a rhythm that can soften your days and even change your heart. So I want to invite you to spend this time with me. Maybe you want to grab a warm drink and relax while you listen, or maybe you'd like to fold laundry, tidy your kitchen, or decorate and declutter alongside me. However you join in, this is your time to breathe deep and be reminded of God's faithfulness in the changing seasons. Autumn is a season of transition. The trees don't cling to their leaves, they let them fall. There's such a quiet confidence in that. And sometimes change is exactly what unsettles us. If you struggle with the fall time, it might be because change feels like a loss. The days are shorter, the air feels colder, and we can't go back to summer. But scripture reminds us that every season has its beauty and its purpose. In Daniel, we read that he changes times and seasons, he gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. God is the one who orders our seasons. Nothing shifts without his hand. That truth brings such comfort when life feels uncertain. As I've learned more about and practiced gardening over the last few years, I have loved seeing the transition with what I have inside my own home garden. As some plants finish their season, they produce seeds, tiny promises of what's to come. And then some go dormant, resting in the soil until it's time to grow again. That rhythm of fruitfulness, letting go, resting, and renewal is built into creation itself. It reminds us that it's okay to be in rhythm too, that there are seasons for productivity and seasons for rest. And our homes can echo this same truth. As I switch out the light summer blankets for heavier throws or fold away swimsuits and bring out sweaters, I'm reminded that change in the home is a reflection of change in the heart. Sweeping away summer sand from the entryway, making space for boots instead, it's part of embracing the season. Sometimes embracing change means leaning into those new rhythms rather than resisting them. For us, it's earlier dinners, cozier evenings, and mornings that begin slowly with warm drinks. And sometimes it means letting go of things we've outgrown. Recently, I went through my kids' clothes and did some decluttering, and I was struck by how much they had grown over just the summer. Suddenly, nothing fit. It was a reminder that growth requires change. Just as the garden teaches us that dormancy is not death, but preparation, we can trust that God is working, even in the quieter, hidden seasons. And just as he faithfully guides the turning of the seasons outside, we can trust him to guide the seasons within our homes and hearts. One of the greatest gifts of autumn is the invitation to slow down. In summer, everything feels fast. The days are long, we're on the go, there's always something happening. But when autumn comes, it's as though creation whispers, slow down. Yet often, our culture does the opposite. The marketing ramps up, back to school sales, the push toward the holidays, reminders everywhere that we need more. We need to do more or buy more. It's exhausting, and it can add stress right when our bodies and souls are craving rest. Psalm 46 is one of my favorite passages. Verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." When the world tells us to hurry and consume, God invites us into stillness and trust. And slowing down gives us the chance to actually notice the beauty around us. When was the last time you stopped to notice the leaves changing, or the intricate lace of a spider's web? To smell the earth after it rains? To feel the soft cardigan against your skin, or the warm autumn sun on your face? When we rush, we miss out on these little gifts. Our nervous systems weren't designed for the relentless pace of our modern society. When we're always pushing, always scrolling, always consuming, we eventually burn out. The Lord in His wisdom gave us rhythms, seasons, Sabbath, even the cycle of day and night, to remind us to pause, to breathe, and to rest. Autumn invites us to align ourselves with those rhythms again. And even housework can become a practice of slowing down. Wiping the counters down after dinner, folding laundry in the quiet, or arranging a vase of autumn flowers. These aren't just chores. They're invitations to notice beauty in the ordinary. Homemaking becomes a gentle way of slowing our pace and being truly present. Autumn is also a season of preparation. Just as farmers or even small-time homesteaders bring in the harvest, we prepare our homes for the months ahead. That might look like stocking the pantry with hearty or important ingredients, washing and folding blankets, or cleaning out the hearth. Ever since I was a little girl, one of my favorite rhythms in the Pacific Northwest is splitting and stacking firewood. I remember doing this with my dad in August and September, and now my husband Weston and I do it together with our kids for our own home. It's hard work in the heat of late summer, but there's something so satisfying about seeing the woodpile grow. And when the first cold nights arrive, or those chilly, crisp mornings, and we bring that wood inside for the fire, I'm always so grateful for the hours of preparation that made those cozy evenings and mornings possible. There's a time for building, for enjoying, and there's a time for preparing. If you dread autumn, preparation can actually become a comfort. Think of it as gently creating layers of support for yourself, meals that nourish, spaces that feel restful, and small traditions that give you something to look forward to. I find myself doing a lot of preparation during this time of the year as we transition into the new season. Things like chopping vegetables that I just harvested from the garden to put into the deep freezer to pull out to make soups and stews later on in the colder months. Or reviving my sourdough starter that I kind of forgot about in the back of the fridge during the summertime, fluffing pillows, swapping out decor, and deep cleaning the kitchen before the holidays come. These ordinary acts are ways of gathering, not just supplies, but peace of mind. In our home, autumn also means leaning into traditions that bring people together. For us, that looks like having friends and family over to watch football games, cozy old movies, and sharing yummy food that I love cooking for them. Those gatherings do not have to be elaborate or Pinterest-worthy. They're simple, warm, and rooted in connection. And I think that's what preparation is really about, creating spaces and moments that nurture both body and soul. One of autumn's deepest lessons is the beauty of letting go. If you find yourself weighed down in this season, you might be holding tightly to summer, or even to expectations of yourself that feel too heavy. Autumn gently shows us it's okay to release. My favorite movie is The Sound of Music. I've also been in the stage production 3 different times, and one of my favorite lines is actually a quote from Isaiah. Isaiah 55:12 says, "For you shall go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands." Even the trees join in this rhythm of joy and surrender. They let go of their leaves, not in despair or anxiety, but as part of God's song of renewal. For some of us, letting go might look like decluttering. Recently, I've been working on simplifying all of the surface areas in our house. They can become catch-alls, but by letting go of what isn't serving us and creating routines that help regularly clear it off, those spaces feel so much calmer now. The fall time also invites us to let go of the less visible clutter, the kind we carry in our hearts. Things like perfectionism, that constant voice telling us we're not doing enough, or the expectation that our home, our family, or even we ourselves must look a certain way to be acceptable, or the need to control everything, when in reality, so much of life is outside of our control. Friend, you don't have to hold on to all of that. You don't need a perfect home to create a welcoming one. You don't need to do every single seasonal project to make this autumn meaningful. What matters most is your presence, your love, and your willingness to create a safe space for the people you care about. And letting go can be paired with welcoming something fresh. But fresh doesn't always have to mean brand new. We don't need to cling to the idea that the space only feels renewed when we buy more. Often the very act of releasing what no longer serves us gives us and whatever room we're working on new life. On my porch, instead of holding on to the pressure to decorate with all the latest trends, I can simply set out a few real pumpkins. While doing some yard work this summer, my kids and I discovered a few volunteer pumpkin plants that had sprouted up from the remains of the pumpkins that we had on our front porch last year. We had thrown them into a brambly area that we have since refined a bit, and it's been so fun to watch these gourds, frankensquashes, and pumpkins grow, giving us a second round of reusable decor that we can place on our porch to welcome guests. They're beautiful in their simplicity, and when the season passes, they don't linger as clutter. They become pie for my family, or they return to the garden as compost, feeding the soil for next year's growth. That's the gift of letting go. Even in release, there is purpose and renewal. But when we hang on to things that don't serve us, like bins of plastic pumpkins we don't even love, we miss out on that cycle of usefulness. Letting go reminds us that beauty doesn't come from holding on to more, but from trusting that what we release makes room for something better. Finally, autumn calls us to gratitude. And I know, for those of us who are in a difficult or challenging season, gratitude may feel out of reach. But gratitude isn't about ignoring the hard things. It's about noticing small joys right alongside them. This time of the year, the marketing only gets louder. Ads tell us we need the newest fall wardrobe, the coziest decor, or the most picture-perfect holiday gatherings. And it can stir up some comparison and discontentment, making us feel like what we have is not enough. The Lord offers us a better way. I love that 1 Thessalonians 5:18a says, "Give thanks in all circumstances." When we choose gratitude, we're not just shaping our own hearts. We're setting an example for our children and those around us. Our culture constantly pushes the message that we need more to be happy. Newer things, bigger homes, prettier decor. I have found in my own life that the pressure to keep up with the Joneses is really rooted in discontentment and ungratefulness. But when our kids see us pausing to give thanks for simple blessings, a warm meal, laughter around the table, or even the beauty of falling leaves, they learn that joy isn't found in having more, but in noticing what God has already given. If you've seen my other decorating videos during the autumn or the Christmas time, you'll know that one way I practice this is by reusing the same decor year after year. Those pieces may not be new or flashy, but they carry stories. The same wreath on the door, the same knickknacks and mismatched figurines that I've had since my preteen boys were babies. They gather layers of memory over time, and I found that gratitude is often linked with nostalgia and contentment. We find joy not in the novelty of something new, but in the way familiar things remind us of years gone by, of traditions repeated, of God's faithfulness carried from one season into the next. And this example was set for me by my own mom. Every year, around the 1st of September, she sets out the same decorations that she's had since I was a little girl. There's a tiny autumn village that has been super glued back together more times than I can count. Little heads and limbs lovingly reattached year after year. And yet, I wouldn't want it any other way. Those well-loved, imperfect pieces mean far more to me than any new or trendy decor ever could. They carry the weight of memory, the comfort of tradition, and the beauty of being cherished through the years. Gratitude can even touch our housework. I've given myself a challenge this autumn, and maybe together we can take this a step further. What if the to-do list in our homes became a gratitude list in disguise? Every dish washed is a reminder that we were nourished. Every load of laundry folded is a reminder that God has provided clothing and children to care for. Sweeping the floor becomes a way of noticing the life lived within these walls. So here's my gentle challenge for you. As you move through your housework this week, pause with each task and whisper thank you. Thank God for the meal as you scrub the pots. Thank Him for your family as together you sort or fold clothing. Thank Him for the shelter of your home as you tidy the spaces you live in. When we practice gratitude in these ordinary acts, even our homemaking becomes a form of thanksgiving. Not glamorous, not perfect, but deeply faithful. So as autumn arrives, let's allow it to shape not only our homes, but our hearts. Let's welcome change, slow our pace, prepare with intention, practice letting go, and live with gratitude. Even if the fall isn't your favorite, this season isn't something to fear or resist. It's an invitation to rest, to trust, and to notice the quiet gifts all around us. The golden light through the window, the warmth of soup on the stove, the comfort of a familiar blanket, and even the gentle return of rain. All reminders that God is with us, providing for us in every detail. If you've been feeling weary, I hope you leave this time reminded that it's okay to slow down. It's okay to release the things that feel too heavy. And it's okay to find joy in the simplest of moments. My prayer is that you step into this new season with a softened heart, a refreshed spirit, and eyes wide open to the beauty right in front of you. May your home and your heart be filled with peace, and may this autumn meet you with unexpected joy.